Turn to page 127 in your grammar books. 127. And it's nice, we have a short lesson today, so I'm happy about that. I'm sure you are too. Just kidding, I shouldn't say that. I love grammar, right? See me smile? All right. Learn it. We're talking about pronouns. You guys pretty much already know what a pronoun is, but now you're going to find out that there's a lot more to pronouns than you thought you knew. So even though it's a short lesson, it's kind of detailed on what we're going to be adding as far as what types of pronouns you're going to find in this book. You're still going to just label them PR like we've been doing. So a pronoun replaces a noun in order to avoid repetition. It refers back to some person or thing recently mentioned and takes the place of that person or thing. There are many types of pronouns. Week 1, you reviewed personal pronouns. Those are the easiest ones to remember. That's he, her, it, she, him, all of those. So basically male and female pronouns for animals and people, and then it for things, okay, which take the place of common and proper nouns. Week 9, you learned indefinite pronouns, which do not refer to any particular person or thing. And also in week 9, you learned demonstrative pronouns, which point to a particular person or thing. Review the pronoun list on Appendix 3, we will in a second, and then we're introducing today a reflexive pronoun. Ends in self, singular, or selves, plural, and refers to the subject of the same sentence. Himself, herself, themselves, like that. So you're going to still write PR above the pronouns. So the men hid themselves in the forest. So themselves is the pronoun referring to the men. And here Robin stood up for himself. That's the pronoun. That's the reflexive pronoun referring to Robin. Now go ahead and flip really quick to page 197 in the very back of your book. 197, I think it's like almost, it is the very last page. Second to the last page, I guess. 197. And I recommend you put a Post-it note on this page that just says pronouns on it. So that you can refer back to this. You might need this for the rest of your book that you're working on, because you might need to look back on it as a refresher. So this is what I do. I just write pronouns at the top of my, if you don't have a Post-it with you right now, you can do that later after class. But basically, a pronoun takes the place of, replaces a noun in order to avoid repetition, explains that. And then here are the different types of pronouns. And then they have this handy dandy chart for you, and that talks about subjective and objective pronouns. Now, the difference between subjective and objective, I'm going to have you write this in your book, so you can have a little reminder of what that is. Above subjective right here, I want you to write does, I'm gonna have to do it kind of small, the thing. It's the subject is the thing doing the thing. So the subject does the thing. I know that sounds weird. Can you see that okay? Does the thing. And then we're going to actually draw a little line here, because I'm going to have you write something different above objective. So subjective is the subject doing the thing. You know how to find that because that's the subject verb pair. And here's that list. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. Objective is the thing acted on. Thing acted on. My pen is kind of thick, so it takes up a lot of space, but and then underneath that, I want you to put, we could put a little semicolon right there. And then I want you to put has stuff done to it. Has stuff done to it. This is just a little note for you to determine the difference between subjective and objective, okay? Subjective is the thing does the thing. Objective or objective, thing acted on, has stuff done to it. And notice the pronouns here, me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. These are the direct object and indirect object. Then we've got possessive. That's pretty easy. That's whose it belongs to, right? Like way back, we talked about his gifts, and these act as adjectives, really. Possessive pronouns, they function as adjectives. And then this is the new one here with self and selves, reflexive. Self and selves. Subject of same sentence, myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. Okay. At the bottom, and some of these we haven't really talked about much yet, right here. Relative pronoun, that's the who, which clauses, right? Who, whom, whose, which, that. That's the who, which clauses and the that clauses. Those are relative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns are used to ask a question. What, whatever, which, whichever, who, whoever, whom, whose. Demonstrative, this, that, these, those. And then you've got your list down at the bottom here of indefinite pronouns. So that's why I want you to put a tab on this page. There's a lot of pronouns. It's not just he, she, him, her anymore. It's depending on how it's used in the sentence. These are the types of pronouns you will use. Okay. At the bottom, plural, singular, and plural. Just for the record, and I know you guys feel the same. As far as people go and animals and male, female hormones, that was weird. Where'd that come from? Male, female pronouns, that's the word I was looking for. Let's not talk about hormones. We'll save that for a science class. But pronouns, it is male and female, that's it. And I know you guys are on the same page as me, but I just want to make sure I make that super clear. As far as male and female, we have him and her, his and hers, she, him, those things, okay? So this is just how it's used in the sentences determines what type of pronoun it is. Okay, any questions about the pronouns? I know it's a big controversial thing right now in the world, but we'll just leave it at that. Now let's go back to the practice page here. That will be back on page 129 is where we're at. Oops, I gotta zoom out here. 129. Let's see, Bronx, could you read the sentence to us today?
Sure. Robin was drenched. He hardly laughed at himself because he knew that he looked ridiculous.
Good, okay. I like how you emphasize ridiculous. Yes, and that is our vocabulary word, meaning laughable, worthy of mockery. So we know what ridiculous is. There's a lot of things ridiculous in this world. So we can check vocabulary. We understand what that word means. We don't have any articles this time. So we're going to start right off with a noun. So Paisley, where is the noun? There's just one.
Robin.
Yep, Robin. And then Paisley, since that was kind of short, how about you tell us where the pronouns are too? So the pronouns, let me see, there's 1, 2, 3, it looks like 4.
He, and himself.
He, oh yeah, there is 3 he's. And himself, good. That's the reflexive pronoun. Yep, that's it. Okay, pronouns, got that. Adjectives, Bronx, words that describe the nouns.
Drenched.
Yes, good. One more.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that's it. Good job. And ridiculous is describing he. And the adjective is drenched is describing Robin. So good. Okay. Adverb. Paisley, what's the adverb?
Heartily.
Yeah, it's actually heartily. So it's hearty is the base word, hearty, and then heartily is describing how he laughed. So it's kind of like a big laugh or a loud laugh. Okay, prepositional phrase, Bronx.
He hardly.
Not he, that's not a preposition, that's a pronoun.
Okay.
So let's see. I'll look back on that pronoun list. Is there one in the back? Well, the page that we were just on, not the pronoun list,
At himself because.
Yeah. At himself is all it is, at himself. There is the preposition list at the very, very last page of your book, but you're right, at is a preposition. So the phrase always ends on either a noun or a pronoun. So at himself is where it's at. Good. Okay, Paisley, that clause.
That.
Where does it end? Whoops, you muted yourself again.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. So that he looked ridiculous is the that clause. Yes. Good. Oh yeah, we have to write that above that because it's fun. That's why. Adverb clause, Bronx. This one, I will give you the clue. Remember www, let's write this in. .asia.b. Remember?
Hardly.
No, I'll give you a clue though. It's the B. Remember what word that stands for?
Because.
Yes. So it starts with because. So what's the whole clause?
Because he knew.
Yes. Now you got it. If you need to during your homework, you can go back to the lesson where we talked about the www.asia.b so you know what those words are. That's AC, by the way, for adverb clause. Got that. Okay, Paisley, the main clauses. So we know the main clause will not include these other clauses. So we know the main clauses are going to be at the top.
Robin was drenched.
Yep, that's one. What's the other one?
He hardly laughed at himself.
Yep, that's the other one. Good. And then back to Bronx for subject verb pairs. Now remember, each clause and each main clause in each phrase, everything has its own subject verb pair. So let's look at the verbs first.
Oh,
Wait, what was it?
I didn't.
Oh.
Okay. Was
Yes, was. It's a helping verb.
drenched.
Drenched is already an adjective. So remember, if it already has a label, it's not going to be a verb.
He.
He already has a label too, pronoun.
All right. So then laughed.
Yes, laughed. And there's one down here.
Knew.
Yes,
Looked.
knew and looked. Good. Now, Paisley, help us figure out the subject. So in this first main clause, who was?
Robin,
Robin is the subject. Good.
he, he,
Good.
he.
And he. Good. Good, because the subject is always going to be either a noun or a pronoun in each sentence. Good. That's that. Now, two openers. You remember the openers? If you turn back to the front of the book, that's the best way to find the openers, because you might need this page later.
The
It's right
first one is number 1.
The first one is number 1. Good. Okay, so remember this page, just give you a quick reference at the very front of your book. You're right. The first one is number 1, which is a subject opener. So we're going to label it. Actually, just kidding. It's not. You think it would be because it is a subject, but look how short this sentence is. We need to fix the punctuation here. So there's 2 commas that we need to fix first before we do the openers. So this comma actually should be a period right here. So we're going to do the little squiggly line and put a period. I can't really fit it in there, but it should be Robin was drenched, period. And then this is a new sentence. He heartily laughed at himself. This should be another, well, not another period here, but we need to take out that comma because he knew that he looked ridiculous. Okay, so we have 2 sentences. Robin was drenched, period. He heartily laughed at himself because he knew that he looked ridiculous, period. Now, we have 2 sentence openers. This one, even though it starts with a subject, is actually going to be a number 6. And it's going to be VSS. Do you guys remember what VSS stands for?
Very short sentence.
Good. Yes, Paisley. Very short sentence. It only has 3 words. Robin was drenched. So that was kind of tricky because it did start with subject. But because it's such a short sentence, it's VSS. But then this one, Paisley, what opener is this one? This is a bigger sentence.
1.
Yeah, that one is the one, and we're going to write subject. So we have very short sentence for this one, and then number 1, subject opener for that one. All right, capitals, you guys already know that for Robin, and then the capital of this, I don't have much room, but you're going to capitalize H in he. We already took care of the commas, and we already did the end marks. Okay, any questions about this page? No. Okay, good. Remember, as you're marking these things, it's going to help you to know that they're not going to be more than one part of speech at a time. So if it's already got adjective or pronoun or something else on it, it's not going to be anything different than that. So as you go, it'll kind of narrow down the rest of it for you to find the right answers. All right, we're done with grammar. Go ahead and put that aside. Okay. Go ahead and get out your keyword outline for dog and table and you just worked on your keyword outline for the dog and the table. Remember that one? We talked about it last week, and then this week for your homework, you finished your keyword outline for this one. So let's look at that together. Did you guys both get to finish this outline? No, Paisley, yes, Bronx. Okay, that's all right, Paisley. You can work on it this week. So did you start it yet, Paisley, or you didn't start it yet either?
I started it, but then we left, and I planned on bringing my book, but I forgot the book.
Oh, okay. You're not at home right now?
No, we're at home right now, but
Okay.
we left and we just got home yesterday.
Got it. Got it. Okay, that's all right. You can catch up on this. So you started it. Did you get done with this part, the first one yet? I just want to know how far you got, just because I'm curious.
Almost. I got to number 3.
Okay, to number 3, that's fine. So let's go ahead and just practice retelling the outline. Remember how we do that sometimes, where you look at your keywords, think of a sentence, look up at the camera, and say the sentence. Let's just practice that for a minute. So I'm going to actually start with Bronx. And we're just going to focus on Roman numeral 1, because that's where Paisley's at too. And that's okay, Paisley. I know sometimes it gets busy, and so you got to do what you can do. But let me start with Bronx. Go ahead and just tell us the first paragraph using your keyword outline. Okay, looking down and then look up when you have your sentence. Does that make sense?
Wait, can you repeat that? I couldn't really hear you. You cut out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my internet's being weird again this morning. So basically, I just want you to verbally tell us your keyword outline. Remember way back when we would practice looking at the 3 keywords and then think of a sentence and then look up and say the sentence? Remember back when we did that?
Oh, yes.
Like that. So you'll just start with Roman numeral 1, look down, read your words, think of a sentence, and then look up and say a sentence. I know it's kind of hard with this one because it's different with the pictures, but just see how you do with it. Okay.
All right. So I have Athena, waiting, and dribblings.
Okay. So go ahead and think of a sentence and then look at the camera and tell us a sentence.
One day, Athena was waiting. Well, all right. So one day, his family was having a Thanksgiving dinner, and when everybody was eating, he was waiting for drippings.
Okay, good.
He was waiting for drippings at the table.
Okay, good. Now look at the next one and think of a sentence.
Okay. Okay. So I already have Thanksgiving in the first sentence.
You already included it in the first one?
Yeah, and I had Thanksgiving again. Well, I don't have Thanksgiving in the first one, and the second one I do.
Okay.
So I'll say, like, Thanksgiving, what they were doing for Thanksgiving dinner was a buffet at 5:45 p.m.
Okay, good. Keep going.
And
You're doing great. It's hard. I know it's a little awkward, but you're doing great. Just think for a second. Are you on number 2 now, this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so look at your words there and just think for a second of a sentence. There's no rush, okay? You just take your time and then say the sentence.
Thanksgiving dinner was, buff- Thanksgiving buff- All right. One, they were doing a Thanksgiving buffet at 5:45 p.m. So that way it was easier for everybody to get their food.
Okay, good. Go ahead, you're gonna do 3, 4, and 5, okay? So go ahead and do 3.
All right. And there was turkey, ham, and buns. Lots of turkey, ham, and buns at the table for everyone to eat.
Good.
The smell of hot buns and potatoes smelled so good that it almost made your eyes roll back into your head.
Hey, I can relate to that, okay? Okay, are you on number 5 now?
Oh,
Or are you on 4?
Oh, I accidentally skipped. I actually went all the way to 5. I skipped 4. So,
Oh, okay, go back to 4. You can just do that one.
okay, the party. As the party was going on, the dog came out from underneath the table and started begging on the people's on everybody's lap.
Oh no, okay. Did you actually name your dog too? Does your dog have a name?
Yeah, Athena.
Athena, that's right. Okay, Athena. Okay. Awesome. I like it so far. I'm curious to know what's going to happen next, but here's something I want to tell you is be careful not to use the banned word eat or ate. Okay, because that's a banned word. And it's going to be hard because obviously he eats. You're going to have to think of a different word like consume or devour or gobbled up or something like that. Another way to say eat or ate when you go to write it. Okay, Bronx?
Okay.
Okay. But I like what you have so far. It's good. So your homework this week, both of you guys, I know Paisley's going to finish up her outline, but you're going to actually write your story this week. So I'll go over the checklist at the end, but it's a good start. I like it, Bronx. So keep going with that. And Paisley, I know you only have a few. So can you tell us what you have so far? Just start with the Roman numeral 1 and just look at your words and think of a sentence and tell us your sentence. Oh, you're muted. Unmute yourself.
I don't know.
You don't know tell us what words you have so far there.
I had Thanksgiving dinner.
Thanksgiving dinner. And do you have a name for your dog?
No, I was gonna give him a name, but I didn't think of one
You
yet.
don't know yet? Okay. So can you think of a good name for your doggy in your story?
Flash.
Wait, what was it?
Flash.
I can't hear you. Say it one more time. Oh, you're putting your earbuds in?
Roscoe.
Roscoe. Okay. Roscoe, is that right? That's cute. All right. So using Thanksgiving dinner and Roscoe, what could be your first sentence?
Roscoe was waiting for Thanksgiving dinner to start.
Okay, that's good. And it could be, you might say something like one day or on Thanksgiving Day or introducing the day somehow at the beginning, because you'll start the story that way. Okay, so that's good. And then what words do you have for your regular number 1? What do you have here? Or did you do this one yet?
I did do this one. It's mom, and then I have an all day and dinner.
Mom all day dinner. That's what you have? Okay, so what's a good sentence that you could put for that using those words?
Mom worked all day making dinner.
Okay, good. Mom worked all day making dinner. Good. And then number 2, we'll stop after that one. This will be your last one, but what do you have listed for this part, number 2?
Family watching football.
Family watching football. All right, so make a sentence using those words.
The family sat in the living room watching football.
So mom was slaving over the stove and everybody else was watching football. That sounds about right. That's funny. No, that's good. I like your story so far. So for you, Paisley, you'll keep working on your outline, and then you both are going to write your story this week. Okay. So as you're writing, I want you to look for places that you can use your dress ups. So look really quick on your checklist. This is on page 105. It should be at the front of your binder, I think is where we keep your stuff you're working on right now. At the very front of your binder, you've got a lot to do for your paragraphs. So this is going to take you some time. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things to include for your dress ups for each paragraph. So an ly word could be, and for Paisley's example, they were lazily watching football in the living room, lazily, or I guess happily, you could say they're happily watching football in the other room. Or if you're talking about the mom cooking all day, you could say something about how she's somethingly cooking Thanksgiving dinner all day. What's a word we could use there? Somethingly cooking dinner all day. You have an idea, Bronx?
Well, I don't think it would make sense for this, but happily cooking dinner.
Yeah, maybe she is. Maybe she loves to cook and she's in her happy place. Yeah, happily cooking dinner. That would work. I think that's fine. Or tiredly, maybe she's getting tiredly cooking dinner, something like that. And then for the who, which, that would be a good spot for the dog. When you introduce the dog, Athena, who was laying under the table, and then you can finish your sentence with another verb, waited for drippings to fall, or something like that for you, Bronx. So when you introduce Athena to your story, you could use that word who. Now we can use who for pets. That's okay. For pets or animals that are being like humans, which is for if you're talking about a thing, like if you're talking about the table, you could say the table, which was full of food, something like that. Okay. And then your strong verb would be something other than eat. Try to think of something other than eat that could be a strong, because eat or ate is really a weak verb. So you need something like devoured or consumed, something like that for your strong verb for that. And then your because, oh, go ahead, Bronx.
That's also a bound word, isn't it?
Which one? Oh, yeah. Eat and ate. Yeah, it is a band
Yeah.
word. Right. Yep. Okay. So don't use band words. And then because clause, you're explaining why something is the way it is. So maybe later when you're talking about the table was empty, right? Or the food was gone. When you get to this part, maybe you could use because there in that paragraph, like the turkey was gone because Athena made it disappear or something like that. Go ahead, Bronx.
The turkey was gone because the dog had jumped on to the table and eaten it.
Oh, there you go. But you can't use eaten, right? Because any form of,
Consumed.
there you go. Better. That's better. Yes, now you're getting it. All right. And then a quality adjective is going to be a word that describes the noun, right? So you could use a quality adjective like innocent, the innocent Athena. She was an innocent dog or something like that. Or you can use a word to describe the turkey, juicy, delicious turkey. So think of quality adjectives to describe a noun and use that in your paragraphs too. So each paragraph will have one of each of these one of each of these dress up words in it. Okay. And then there's your list. You might think that Athena's being a bad dog, right? Don't use bad. You need to use disobedient or I don't know. The word that comes to mind is like tricky or conniving or like he was planning it. Like he's just sitting there like, I'm so innocent, or she's sitting there, I'm so innocent. I'm just sitting here under the table. I'm not doing anything. I'm not planning anything. And then, of course, she did. She had it planned all along. Okay, so try to avoid good and bad, or think and thought, because your dog could have a thought. So make sure don't use thought. You could use imagined, like she imagined what she would feel like if she could just consume all of the food on the table. It would be like she was in heaven, right? And then, of course, the mechanics, you already know about that, capitalization, end marks, and all that stuff. So when you go to write your story, you're going to include all this, and then you're going to upload your checklist to the Google Doc, the Google Classroom too. Okay, so you're going to upload your keyword outline again, your paragraphs, and your checklist. So that's going to be your, oh, one more thing I wanted to go over on this is the topic clincher. Repeats or reflects 2 or 3 key words. So do that with me. I know you guys have done it with me before, but do it with me, okay? The topic sentence and the clincher sentence repeats or reflects. You're not saying it. You got to say it too. Say repeats or reflects 2 or 3 key words. See, I can read your lips. I know if you're saying it. So that is, let me show you an example of this. Okay, I have an example here from the book, that the teacher's edition. Hold on, let me pull it up here. There it is. And this, they wrote about Bora Bora, that was one of the options. They didn't write about the dog in the table. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like here. This is the Bora Bora pictures about that place, that island, and I think it was, oh, he's talking about from his perspective. Okay, so I'm just going to read this first paragraph here. It says, it was Saturday morning, and Mom, who was always telling me this, really wanted me to go outside, but I was too wrapped up in my Bora Bora book. I was in love with Bora Bora because Mom had sadly forced me to go to a writing class. Gee, you guys can't relate to that, can you? No. We needed to write about the French Polynesian area. In this time, I had learned about Bora Bora. The island had enchanted me. There's your strong verb right there, enchanted me. It was so beautiful with all the little huts. Little is a adjective, a strong adjective, even though it's a simple one. It's okay. Could be a little better than that. And the water, the volcano in the background was amazing. And so was the little walkway that weaved its way through the huts. Bora Bora was the most wonderful place ever. And wonderful is the adjective describing place. But I wanted you to notice Bora Bora in bold here and here. Technically, they're counting that as 2 words. It's kind of, it would be better if they had one more word because Bora Bora is the title or the name of the place. But that's okay. This is just an example. And it's repeating Bora Bora in the first sentence and Bora Bora in the last sentence. So if you're handwriting this, you can use a highlighter to highlight the key words that you repeat or reflect. And it's got to be from the first sentence and the last sentence. Notice down here in the next paragraph, he does it again, mom and museum, and here again, mom, museum. And then the third paragraph, he has working and making and job and get. So he did reflect on the last paragraph. That does give your writing more style when you do that. Reflecting just means like a synonym. For a second, I thought maybe get was a banned word, but it's not. So they got away with that. Okay. Any questions about topic clincher? Because I really want to make sure you guys understand how to do that. Okay, so highlighting those or bolding those, you can see the underlined. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words underlined, and you need to have those in each paragraph. I lost my train of thought. I was going to tell you something about that.
6 words, but there's the dress up words, there's only 5.
Oh, so they have an extra one in here. You're right about that. ly adverb, who, which clause, strong verb, because clause, quality adjective. You're right. So you only need 5. Maybe he was just an overachiever or something. Okay. So, and I know Bronx, you've been working on the homework, but I haven't really seen your writing yet. Do you think you could upload this one for me to see when you're done with it? Do you know how to do that?
No.
You don't know how to do it?
I know my mom knows how to, I believe.
Yeah, maybe see if your mom can, because it would be good to see it. I like to see it every once in a while just to make sure you're on track with your dress up words and your topic clincher stuff. Okay. All right. So we have a little bit of extra time. We went through that pretty quickly. So I'm going to give you some time to work on this in class to get it started. So go ahead and get out a clean sheet of paper. And label it. Today's March 7th. And you're just going to leave a blank here because at the end, you're going to come up with your own title. Okay. That's when you're done with your last sentence. Do you guys remember the title rule? What's the title rule, Paisley?
That it has to be 3 to 4 words and it has to be in the last sentence of your story.
You're close. You're super close. And it says it on your checklist right here. Title, centered, and repeats 1 to 3. So 1 to 3 keywords from your final sentence. So your final sentence is going to do 2 jobs. Your final sentence is going to have 1 to 3 words and from your title, they got to match, right? And then it also needs to have 2 or 3 keywords from the first sentence of your last paragraph. So that last sentence is going to take a lot of thought. It has to reflect your title and the topic sentence of that paragraph. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. Okay, good. So you're going to go ahead and skip a line and indent. And since you both have Roman numeral 1 finished on your outline, go ahead and take a minute to think of a sentence. Take your time, think of a sentence, and go ahead and indent and start your paragraph with your first sentence. And it could be something like, it was Thanksgiving Day and blah, 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 or one day, blah, blah, blah. Think of a way to start your story and come up with a sentence. So I'll just let you work for a minute.
Yes, I am.
Unless you have a question.
Yeah,
I'm going to mute you. Paisley, somehow you came unmuted there. There you go. Okay. So go ahead and work on that first sentence. Let me know when you guys have your first sentence done. Bronx, yours is done, or do you have a question? You're done. Okay, good. How about you, Paisley?
No.
Not yet? That's okay. Keep working on it. Bronx, what do you have so far?
Well, I think I still kind of need to work on it, but I just kind of wrote like a rough draft.
Yeah, that's okay. We can work on it together. What do you
One-
have?
Okay. One Thanksgiving Day, a family invited their friends and family for dinner.
I'm going to write it down too. One Thanksgiving Day. A family or their family?
A family.
A family invited?
Yeah.
And then tell me the rest of it.
Their friends and family for dinner.
Okay, good. Yeah, I can help you with this sentence. the first thing that stood out, you probably saw it too, is used family twice in the same sentence. So you probably want to take one of those out or change it. On Thanksgiving Day, a family invited their friends, maybe just their friends for dinner.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah.
So you can just draw a line through it. You don't have to erase it or anything. Just draw a line through it like that. And you have invited. I think that would be considered a strong verb. So you can go ahead and underline invited as your strong verb from your list.
Okay.
I wonder if we need the word over. One Thanksgiving Day, a family invited their friends over for dinner. Over to their house.
I like.
You like that?
Yeah.
So let's just put over above it. One Thanksgiving Day, a family invited their friends over for dinner. Okay, good. And that is a good way to start it because you're introducing like what's happening. Of course, you probably have more information right here on Roman numeral 1 because I think you have the time too, right?
Yes.
What all do you have there for Roman numeral 1?
Thanks. I did have Athena, but I switched that out for
Okay.
the third or second, actually for the third for the third keyword outline because I thought the name of the dog was a little too soon.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
Thanksgiving, waiting, and dripping.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's okay. So this is kind of like a pre-sentence, kind of introducing your paragraph, and then you'll go into the details. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That makes it flow nicely. That's okay to add that sentence. I think that's good. So now you'll go into the dog. I don't know if you want to introduce the name yet. You said later, and then go ahead and since we still have a little bit more time, go ahead and work on your second sentence and see what you come up with, and then we can kind of play with that sentence next, okay?
Okay.
And Paisley, how's yours coming?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm
I can
just
help you with
working
it.
on
What do you have so far? Or have you started it yet? Oh, okay, there you go. Did you start your sentence yet or not yet? I can't hear you for some weird reason all of a sudden. Is it me? Oh, she's gone. Okay. I think her internet did something weird. Let me know if you need help brainstorming, okay, Bronx?
Yeah, I need some help brainstorming.
Okay, all right, so you've got, okay, and I erased the sentence, but I know what you have. And then you want to introduce how the dog is there waiting for drippings. Is that what you want to put next?
Yeah, I guess we could do that. Yeah.
What do you have for your, because that's your central fact, right? You have the Thanksgiving and then dog and drippings, right? Or waiting and
Yeah.
drippings, I think you said, yeah. So what if you said, under the table, or while the family and friends were visiting, their dog was waiting under the table for drippings or something. I know what you mean though. It seems like you're introducing that too soon. So you want to set up the scene, right? So you've got that family and friends are over for Thanksgiving dinner. Could be something like as they were setting food on the table, you could start like that, maybe something like that. As they were setting food on the table, the dog, you could even say the dog whose name was Athena, you could plug in one of your dress ups there, was waiting for drippings. What do you think, Bronx?
I think that sounds great.
Okay, so start with as they were setting the food on the table, and then you can finish that sentence.
Okay.
Paisley, we lost you for a second.
Yeah, my earplug got undid and then it
Oh.
wouldn't talk.
Yeah, that's okay. So let's see what time we got. Oh, it's already 10:45. Do you have an idea how you want to start yours, Paisley? That first sentence?
Something I'm thinking like one Thanksgiving, the entire family woke up and started getting ready for Thanksgiving.
Okay, I heard part of that. One Thanksgiving, maybe hold the mic a little closer to your mouth. One Thanksgiving. What else did you say?
One Thanksgiving, the entire family woke up and started getting ready.
Oh,
for,
okay. So getting ready for
like Thanksgiving and I don't know.
okay. How about one Thanksgiving day, the entire family was getting ready for their big feast or something like that. How about that? Go ahead and jot that down so you don't forget on your paragraph. One Thanksgiving day, the entire family was getting ready for a feast. You got it, Bronx? Are you still working on it?
Almost.
Almost. Okay, keep going. I know we're out of time, but you guys can just finish up the sentence you're working on, and then we'll just review the homework really quick, and then you can go. I think, Bronx, you were going to use whose name was Athena, I think is how you were going to introduce her name. The dog whose name was Athena was waiting for drippings to fall or something like that. Did you finish your sentence, Paisley, or are you still working on it?
I'm still working on it.
Okay, okay.
Okay, I'm done.
Got it. Okay, good. Okay, so Paisley, maybe we'll just pause for a second because I know we're past the time, but basically your homework is going to be to write your story. I do have a student in a different class who found it really hard to write the outline first and then the story. So if you guys struggle with this is different than our normal outline because you're totally making up stuff. If you need to veer away from this, meaning if you need to move things around like how Bronx did, to make it make sense, that's okay with me. It doesn't have to be sentence 1, sentence 2, sentence 3, you know what I'm saying? So you can shift things around in your outline. This is just giving you ideas on how you want your story to flow, basically. So if that helps you, and Paisley, because I know you haven't finished the outline, if it helps you to write it first, that's okay with me too. So just give me a note in the Google Classroom that you decided to just write the story first. It's easier to do it that way or whatever. That way I know, because this is kind of free flowing. That's how I'm trying to describe it to you, that it's different than taking an article and writing facts about it. Now you're totally creating this. Okay. So
Can
go ahead.
So I can just write the story first, because
Yeah,
that is
if that's
for me.
easier, yeah, if that's easier for you, that's fine. And Bronx, I know you got your outline done, but if you need to change things, don't worry about fixing it on your outline, okay? You just kind of go with it, whatever you want to write about. Yeah, does that help, Paisley and Bronx? Does that help you guys?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. So you're going to write your story and then you're going to use your checklist and then your grammar on the side. So hopefully it's not too much. I hope that it goes quickly for you, because I want you to be creative and just don't feel like you're trapped to your outline. Maybe that'll go faster for you. All right. That's it for today, unless you have any other questions before we go. You guys are good? Okay. Have a great day. I will see you next time. Bye, you guys.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye. See you next time.